They say everything in the markets is all priced in. Yeah, what about an asteroid the size of Manhattan hurtling towards Earth? Is that priced in? NASA and government agencies the world over have identified it. Its trajectory is certain. The impact window is known. A bunch of worried officials stand at podiums and wax poetic on the enduring nature of the human condition. How we love despite our pain. How we give in spite of our sorrow. Yeah, that's all well and good. But what happens when markets open? The way I see it, there are 3 scenarios, each depending on the size of the asteroid. Case A, the city killer. Case B, nation killer. Case C, Extinction-Level. But let's rewind all the way back to the first sighting and calculation of trajectories. The first crash is uncertainty, which traders the world over hate the most. That move would be violent. Stocks would sell off hard, because the markets hate unclear risk more than bad news. Remember, it's not the news itself that drives things. It's always the push-pull factor on risk and uncertainty. You've likely heard the phrase, buy the rumor, sell the news. If the impact is unconfirmed, stocks may sell off hard, but not collapse completely. S&P futures limit down. A VIX explosion. The highest levels hit on the Fear and Volatility Index was 82.69 on March 16, 2020. If a likely asteroid was coming, this thing would pop to 100 easily. Liquidity would also vanish, market makers would widen the spreads, panic rotation into cash, treasuries, gold, maybe even Bitcoin. Airlines, insurers, travel, luxury, banks, and consumer discretionary hit first and hit hard. U.S. markets already have circuit breakers. A 7% S&P 500 drop triggers a level 1 halt. 13% triggers level 2. And 20% triggers level 3, which shuts trading down for the rest of the day. So even if there's a 30% chance of the big scary rock hitting, you can be bloody damn sure that the markets will be shut down. They might even close U.S. markets like they did in the wake of 9/11. Back then they closed it for 4 trading days. And side note, if you ever want to look at the call-put buying in the days leading up to the attacks, there's some spooky stuff in the data.
Learned that the Chicago Board of Options Exchange launched their investigation into the unusual trading last week.
Osama's family doing insider trading? What? I thought the U.S. capitalist system was the great enemy. I guess greed has no respect to border, creed, or ideology. But anyways, the first day wouldn't be trading. It would be price discovery during a mass psychological failure. People panic sell now and scream the sky is falling. Imagine if it actually was. Let's get to the 3 questions of what would happen depending on how big the rock is. Case A, city killer. A regional impact. Horrific, but civilization survives. The market reaction could be a broad crash at first, then fast sector differentiation. That's your defense, aerospace, engineering, construction, emergency infrastructure, energy, water, medical logistics. They may rip Van Winkle. Insurers get destroyed if the impact zone is insurable. How many puts would be bought on Progressive? Jake from State Farm is safe. It's not publicly traded. But local real estate and regional banks in the projected area would implode. Government contractors become the new momentum trade. You're going to see a lot of insider trading in Washington. I mean, more than you already do. If the world survives, Wall Street starts asking the ugliest question imaginable. Who profits from impact? Case B, nation killer. A massive regional or continental catastrophe. Think half of Europe destroyed. Or the Great Plains of the US, coastal China. Okay, now we're getting to 90s disaster movie levels. Rock meet proverbial hard place. The market's reaction. Global equities absolutely crash. Sovereign debt gets repriced depending on impact zone. Currencies will move violently. Like imagine if your country is in the impact zone. What is your currency worth then? Supply chains freeze. Food, energy, water, security, and logistics becomes the only sectors that matter. You can be sure ain't nobody buying Snapchat stock. Governments may suspend short selling, close exchanges, or force settlement delays. I mean, they're definitely closing it, right? And obviously short selling won't even happen, because it's all just going down. I mean, there may be some degenerates buying the dip, but that's another rung on the ladder. Because at this level, the stock market stops being a growth machine and becomes a survival auction. All right, the big one. The dinosaur killer. Humanity does not go gently into that good night. Case C, Extinction-Level. Civilization-ending impact. The market reaction to this? Market pricing breaks. Obviously, there's no buyers or sellers. Futures collapse. Exchanges will likely close. Money loses its future claim, and risk models become meaningless. A stock is a claim on future cash flows. If there's no future, the asset is not cheap. It's conceptually dead. Everything about our stock market is future-looking. If there isn't one, then the party's over.
Party's over.
But what would actually be crazy is the timeline. If NASA comes out and says the impact is in 48 hours, then everything is closed. No markets, just shut down, emergency broadcasts, reading your Bible or religious texts, and looting the things that really matter. Food, water, medicine. Money has quickly lost all meaning. If the impact is in 6 months, markets would still crash, but then enter a bizarro speculative regime. Every press conference would move trillions. A successful deflection test would create the biggest relief rally in history. A failed launch would create another crash. It would be insane trading that. I don't know why anyone would. It's like, I'm not day trading, dude. I'm spending time with my family. Impact in 10 years. Now we're getting into some planning and investment theses. All the space and defense stocks are ripping, you can bet. Nuclear, mining, orbital infrastructure. Elon would become a multi-trillionaire. SpaceX would be, $50,000 a share? Doomsday preppers in their backyard bunkers buying up infrastructure plays. This is the realm of the future is still in play. NASA's DART mission already demonstrated asteroid deflection by intentionally striking an asteroid moonlet and changing its orbit, which is why the can we deflect it question matters enormously to markets. We actually have some asteroids coming close in the near future. This is from NASA. While astronomers are tracking asteroid 2024 YR4, which initially had a small, roughly 2.3% chance of impacting Earth on December 22, 2032, updated observations have significantly lowered the risk, making a collision unlikely. Dude, 2.3 sucks. Alright traders, everything in this video might be meaningful sooner than we think. That one is labeled a city killer too, by the way. There's Apophis 2 in 2029, but I think that one's not hitting though. It's getting 20,000 miles away, so that's terrifying, but no impact. Unless our governments are lying. But they wouldn't do that, would they?
Right, well, the President of the United States is fucking lying!
And then there's Bennu 2182, with an impact probability of 1 in 2,700. That's 0.037%. On September 24th, 2182. This 0.3-mile wide rock is considered a top long-term risk. Although the dinosaur killer was 6 to 9 miles long, so weak. In the movie Don't Look Up, stocks ripped because everyone was so propagandized to believe everything would be fine.
Trying to tell you that the entire planet is about to be destroyed.
Which could also happen. The news would be so scattered and fought over, it makes sense. People want to believe everything is going to be fine. It's a defense mechanism. Existential crises are not rewarded in evolution. But if the asteroid is survivable and governments mobilize effectively, markets could rally while doom is still coming. How on God's soon-to-be not green Earth could that happen? Because markets are not morality machines, they just discount. If the probability of extinction falls from 20% to 5%, that's bullish. If deflection odds improve, that's bullish. If trillions in fiscal stimulus hit aerospace and infrastructure, that's bullish. If the impact zone narrows away from major financial centers, that's bullish. The most horrifying headline in history could still produce a green day if the odds improve, which is either the most damning indictment on the human race or the biggest flag of our collective hope. Actually, maybe it's both. So what happens to the stock market if an asteroid is coming? First, panic, then probability, policy, then sector rotation, and finally the darkest calculation in finance. Is there enough future left to discount? Is tomorrow still worth the bet?